Welcome to another episode of Core Discussions. I'm Legacy.
And I'm Max.
I'm Bobby.
First, I'd like to take a moment to tell you all to like, share, subscribe, please, notifications, all that good stuff, if you can. As you all know, we're here for another episode of our top 10s. We are doing top 10 worst TV, so silver screen, to movie adaptations to the golden screen. Silver screen to golden screen. So there are some parameters in this. First, you have at least have to have watched a couple episodes of the TV show, and obviously I've had to watch the whole movie. Pretty simple, but just to make it fair so that you actually have some context of why it was so bad. And generally all of these are, we like the TV show, but when the movie came out, it was a dud. So, gentlemen, are we ready?
Why, yes.
Always ready.
We had a total of 25 different movies that we put down. Our number one is the only thing that got a vote from every single person, though.
I'm not shocked.
Coming in at 10th place with 11 points, it was voted on by The Mountain, put it number 4, and Vitamin J put it number 7. It has an amazing, I really enjoy the cartoon theme song, and it features a cat and his love for lasagna. It is Garfield.
I've never seen the movie.
You haven't seen the movie?
Really?
Well,
No,
It's-
no.
We used
It's
to
real
own.
bad.
yeah, it's just something that should have gone straight to DVD.
Yeah.
Did you hear the story about why Bill Murray took that role?
No.
He thought the director's name, allegedly the story,
Must
he
have
thought
been
it
the
was
Coen
actually
brothers,
the
right?
Coen brothers, but it
Oh.
wasn't the Coen brothers. Guy just happened to have the same last name as them. He
Well,
I
took the
think
role
I
because
think
he
it was
thought
like well I think he was like technically like John C. Cohen
No,
or
his
some
name
crap like that.
his name is Joel Cohen too. So
Joe Cohen, that's
so-
on that. Well, I know, but I think he played.
So apparently that's why Bill Murray took the role. Otherwise, he probably would not have.
Well, he did a second one after he found out, so.
Oh, money's probably nice.
Mhm.
Maybe he's maybe he's like, what? I like doing this. This is easy. All I gotta do is do a voice.
Mm.
He didn't even
I'm
do
not
it, voice. He just sound like
disparaging
Bill
voice
Murray.
actors. I was like, hey, just doing Bill Murray. They did not capture Garfield. They didn't capture the essence of Garfield.
yeah, so they have the same names,
No.
Joel Cohen, but the way Cohen spelled is different. One has an H, one doesn't.
Ricky, I know
That's
that
how they
true.
get you.
You know, he didn't feel like he hated Mondays and loved lasagna. And I didn't put it on my list because I forgot to.
I honestly just don't think it's something that you can actually turn into a good movie. There's not like enough material.
Yeah, I really like this show. I remember growing up watching it like in the morning before I went to school. I also haven't seen the movie, so I couldn't.
So do yourself a favor and don't watch it.
And yes, everyone, we know this was a comic strip first, but we're still cutting as a TV.
So the reason why I think it's lower on the list because it wasn't like offensively bad. It was just bad.
Yeah, it's just
Mhm.
bland,
Like-
you know.
Our big thing was it doesn't matter how it starts as long as it went to a TV before movie, or even with some of these, like as long as the TV show was big enough that most people will know. All right, so we're gonna go to number 9, coming in with 12 points. Was also voted on by these two people. Vitamin J's number 3, The Mountain's number 7. It is, and I can't believe. I'm not surprised they put this movie on. Though there is an argument amongst the group of how bad this movie was, because I didn't think it was that bad. I thought it was still entertaining, and you could still enjoy it. It is from the old classic that was remastered with Will.
Well, the
Smith.
show was good.
Okay, yeah.
With Will Smith. It is Wild Wild West.
Nah.
I can't believe you two. I just
So
absolutely
bad.
cannot believe you two.
I deserve money.
Even had an
Will
awesome
Smith
song
personally.
too.
Yeah, the song. Okay.
Wow.
The song is a
that-
banger.
There
The
are
song is
good
a
parts
banger.
about it, but that's awful
That Batman movie
overall.
had that Steel song, and that movie's trash.
Oh, who played the main villain? I did like his.
Kenneth Braun, he was
Mhm.
fantastic.
Loveless.
Yeah, he was fine, but I think the character was better in the TV show.
but you are yellow. You might be black as the night, but you are yellow inside.
Yeah, he was one of the few good parts.
Well, I knew him years ago, but I haven't seen him in a coon's age.
Well, I can see where it'd be difficult for a man of your stature to keep in touch with even half the people you know.
Well, perhaps the lovely Miss East will keep you from being a slave to your disappointment.
Well, you know, beautiful women, they encourage you one minute and cut the legs out from under you the next.
I just cannot believe you do this.
Plot
She
could have
knows
been better.
coming
I
in
will
to
say
hate
plot could have been a bit better.
It got very silly,
No.
especially like the scene where he's in the spider fighting all the goons, and oh god, that's so cringy. That scene.
I would say, I think Will Smith rejected the Matrix for this movie.
Hmm
The best
Yeah, he made a
choice.
big mistake.
He made a bigger one later.
And another funny story is apparently Kevin Smith told the director of Wild Wild West was like one of the concept artists for the Superman movie with Nick Cage or something like that. He really wanted to do a giant metal spider villain in that movie. So he put in Wild Wild West.
Mm.
If you believe Kevin Smith.
Right, even Will Smith said that this movie was bad.
I don't care.
Still enjoyable. I still enjoy it. I will still watch it. Don't argue. It's not bad.
Who was the co-lead on that? Played the
Kevin
other guy.
Kline.
Kevin Kline. Yeah.
And it did have the very talented Selma Hayek in there.
Tell everyone why you
She-
think
she
she's so
was-
talented.
She was great.
Yeah.
I had no problem.
Good actress. Enjoy all of her movies.
2 reasons? Give me 2 reasons.
She's a
What,
great
her
actress,
eyes?
and she knows how to do comedy
acting
and be
and her
serious
charm.
all at the same time. I don't know what you're trying to insinuate here.
I don't know
but
what
I just wanted to hear your reasons. That's
I'm
all.
disgusted. I'm disgusted by this.
No, there were good parts about it. Kevin Kline and Kenneth Branagh are fine, but the overall story and the cheesiness and silliness of it is just too
You-
much for me.
You can have good acting and have the movie be bad, i.e. The Master.
Dude, he ain't gonna let that go. He ain't gonna let that go.
I'm surprised he didn't pull out The Witch.
That's for me to do. Yeah, The Witch. That was we already talked about. That.
Max, like, just be glad it wasn't a TV show first. Just be glad it wasn't.
I disagree about The Witch. I like The Witch a lot.
You didn't like Bloodbath McGraw?
What Ted Levine, baby?
Yeah.
Yeah,
totally.
again, the acting was not the problem with the movie.
He's saying the script and
Yeah.
everything else was wrong.
Script,
Pretty much.
direction.
I enjoyed it, so screw the best
And
of
you
you.
can find a lot of the TV show on YouTube, and if you watch it, it's just a lot better.
All right, we're going to go to number 8. It was voted on by the other 3 people who haven't had a movie show up yet.
Finally.
With 14 points, it was D3's number 4, Max's number 6, and my number 9. Somebody else voted for a movie from this franchise as well, but it was a different movie, so I split it up. I put in a different one. It is coming from the famous 80s cartoon about cars that turn into awesome monsters. It is Transformers 4.
Your extinction, yes, with the infamous Romeo and Juliet law.
Yes.
We can
Oh yeah.
I just called the cops on you because this is illegal. She's a minor. We're protected by the Romeo and Juliet laws.
We dated for a little while. I was a sophomore and he was a senior. It's fine.
No, it's not fine.
We've got a pre-existing juvenile foundational relationship. Statute 2705-3.
What? Texas statute?
Yeah.
Which was
I'm
like,
so glad I
Unnecessary
stopped
movie.
watching after the second one.
You didn't even watch the third one? That one was pretty bad too.
Nope. It's a shame because
one,
like the
you guys
first one's like decent.
The first one's good.
yeah.
Second one, Third one,
It's just like, fourth one's a
it's gone
drag.
downhill.
The fourth one is extremely long.
Well, they're all pretty long because I
Yeah.
think after the second one is like 2.5 hours plus. To
Which
each
they
one.
should not be. A Transformer movie should never be 2.5
I
hours.
watched the fourth one in theaters foolishly, and that was a drag.
I did
I
too.
mean, who
Same here.
else can forget the famous dialogue like "My face is my warrant"?
I don't have a warrant.
My face is my warrant.
I don't think that's really how it works legally, but no, I'm not.
Pretty sure.
I'm not.
Pretty sure those
Well,
need to be
what-
signed by a judge.
Well,
but do I know?
what about the line where he says, "We're not going to save your daughter. We're going
Yeah,
to save my girl"?
God.
I would have punched that dude. That dude would have died, right? Like, what kind of mess? We're not saving your daughter. We're saving my girl. Like, what?
First of all,
Buddy, you know I got a gun right in my head. Like,
that mimic call for that
Yeah,
comment?
and what kind of Dan Schneider plot point was that Romeo and Juliet thing?
When I saw that saying like, why don't you just make them both 18? That just makes more sense.
Because
Instead of
somebody,
seeming like a
somebody in that set needs to be questioned.
Yeah, it's like what you want to make it so he doesn't go to college. Okay, so they're just 18 and he's just not going to college and shit. Like I don't really. There was nothing to that whole.
Well, it wouldn't have been as. I mean, it was bad enough, but then like zoomed in, he put out the card and like zoomed in on it.
Yeah, it's like you you set this whole thing up because who the hell carries that card around?
Someone who knew he's going to need it. That's tell you all you need to know.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Like Michael Bay, what have you done in your life where you know that law? What have you done? And then, like I said, the cartoon of the 80s isn't an all-time classic, and depending on how you ask, but it's still enjoyable.
It's not just this movie, but the whole franchise butchered Megatron, I thought.
The first one they do pretty well.
The first
with
one,
him.
yeah, the first one's fine with him, but after that, yeah, they just it's bad.
Because like him and Optimus are supposed to be on the same level, and they've never had them both on the same level of strength. They're
And then
both
that one
supposed
dude in the third one, like, just completely mogs him.
Mhm.
The
What?
franchise was dead at this point.
Yeah, it's just like what I mean. Granted, it still made a lot of money.
And they didn't even color them like Optimus Prime in the cartoon was brightly colored, so you could clearly tell that's him fighting. Like, he has dark paint. Like, that doesn't help. Not everything needs to be dark paint.
Didn't mind Marky Mark in the fourth one, which one we're talking about, but still, this movie is trash.
What do you mean?
Speaking of product placement, what do you think of that Bud Light product placement when he drinks that warm Bud
Just
Light?
that one. Well, there's also that weird scene with Stanley Tucci
All
when he's
the
running
movies-
away from the robots, and he sits down and he opens a thing with the Japanese letters on it.
Well, I mean, all of the time when they transform into cars, it's just product placements for the car brands.
True. I will say Stanley Tucci's part was kind of funny.
You gotta love the creativity of this movie. I believe the element that transformed Transformers was called Transformium.
It was some real.
Look, Max, it's on the nose as Avatar's Unatamium.
Yeah, the same guy must have come up with that.
And it's like you're not even trying, buddy. You're not even giving two crowds a try. All right, let's go on to our next one, or next one. So there's a three-way tie, all coming in with 16 points. We're going to talk about, this was voted on by myself. I put it 7. D3 put this, and The Mountain both put this number 5. It is Flintstones, Viva Las Vegas.
I was about to say, you better not say the first one. We don't fight.
No. First one's quality. First one's quality.
Look, first one had a perfect casting of Fred Flintstone and John Goodman. That is perfect casting. Chef kiss on that. And Rick Moranis as Barney, another great casting choice. I'm not a big Rosie O'Donnell fan, but she nailed Betty's laugh. She nailed it. The second one was Stephen Baldwin. Who played Fred Flintstone?
I don't know his name.
I think he was in Game of Thrones.
Mark Addy, I think is his name.
Yeah, sure.
There you go. Terrible choices. For you cast a lesser Baldwin to play Barney, thank you.
Well, especially it was like also disappointing with like how like decent the first one was. Then like they just like fell off a cliff.
Exactly. The first one is a great no, but it's good for a TV to movie adaptation. It's good. And I don't mind like Jane Krakowski as Betty.
That's right. That was her. Yeah, that was her. I forgot.
Then you had terrible CGI with Dino and the Great Kazoo. When you introduce Great Kazoo, that's just a not good moment. That's when
that was awful.
That's when the show started dying too. Martin Short. I believe it was Martin Short, but isn't making those stupid.
It was Alan Cumming was Great Kazoo.
Alan Cumming.
Okay. Yeah, I could swear it was Martin Short. But, I mean, I could be wrong.
No, it's Alan Cumming. Yeah.
Huh. In my head, I always had it as Martin Short.
Yeah.
The storyline was terrible. I mean, I can't say a single positive thing about this film.
Hunter, to explain our gaffe there with the Martin Short, I just think it wasn't that we got it wrong. We just had a Mandela effect.
Yeah,
right. Me and you were in the same timeline, and we just jumped to this one. That's all it is. Right, so that's we're caught up.
In your timeline, does this movie still suck?
Yes, but it had Martin Short.
Yeah, Martin Short was on it. Yep.
He's like, I don't think there's a single universe ever that will make this movie good.
Yeah, it's one of those like, did we really need to make this movie? Like, did we really need this movie? Because it was just
like you should know, like, yes, the first one did well, and I knew they would want to do another one. But if you don't get the right people, don't even try it. Because it's like Dodie with fake Diesel, fake Razor. No one wants to see it after they got the original people there. Feel like this is not John Goodman, okay?
Well, it was also weird because this is a prequel.
Right.
So I'm like, if you had a good one, do a sequel so you bring the cast back. So I was like, I don't know what you're thinking here.
I wonder if John Goodman didn't want to do it or something, but
yeah.
Well, if they wanted to do a prequel to begin with, it wouldn't make sense to recast him because he was just gotten older by now. By the time they filmed it, but here's the problem: when we transfer animation to live action, you gotta actually look at the source material. It feels like a lot of these movies,
I'm sure we'll talk about that in great detail later.
we definitely will.
Yeah,
and I'm a big Flintstone fan. It's one of the best cartoon shows of all time, and when you just watch this abomination, it just brings a tear to your eye.
Yeah, this was one I remember watching on TV, and I knew it was going to be bad just because I was like, why are you making a prequel? Like, I always already went in like, this is going to be rough. But I'm like, I'm already wild, but you know what? It's a Saturday night. I ain't doing anything. Let me see. Maybe it surprises me. No, the whole time I'm like, good Lord.
You said that, so you know what? It's going to be bad, but I'm here for it.
Maybe it's surprising. Maybe something happens. All right. So next one, they're both related to the next two that tied. So we're going to do coming in with 16 points. We can kind of do them together. So one of them, Vitamin J and Hunter and the Mountain put it down. It was the Mountain's number 2 and Vitamin J's number 4. And the other one was both Max and myself's number 3. We did the same franchise, just one of us did the original, the other did the sequel. So Vitamin J and the Mountain did Inspector Gadget, and we did Inspector Gadget 2.
You know what? I knew I forgot a show. I told myself to put this show on the list, but I didn't.
I'm going to start it off a little bit. So imagine a young Phil, probably 5 years old, back when he was supposed to be taking a nap every day. Well, he started realizing his dad would go to work and the neighbors were watching him. But, in that time, we lived in an apartment complex. It was different times where you could kind of leave, the neighbors were right next door in an apartment complex, but they kind of like, I knew how to get around that. So I'd go to my living room and, turn on the TV and watch TV instead of taking a nap. I really regret that now. I heavily regret not doing that. But there was
You might be taller.
Yeah, I might be taller. I might be more well rested and not sleep as late as I do so much. But, who knows? But there was this lovely show about this detective or the spy that used to have all these cool mechanisms and say, go, go, gadget, and used to get these messages that will self-explode in however many minutes, and it always landed wherever his boss was. The show was cool. It was fun. There was Penny. There was the dog. It was amazing. It was a very good kids show. Then the first movie came out. It was all right. Thought it could have been better, but it was all right. Then the second one came out, and it was like, their whole premise, Inspector Gadget, forgot who played him.
I'll tell you, it's French Stewart.
There you go.
Those are one of your least favorite people. Yep.
It went from Matthew Broderick to French Stewart, and it was like, what the crap is this?
My, she certainly is well equipped, isn't she?
Ooh, Gadget's got a girlfriend. Gadget's got a girlfriend.
Besides, she's state of the art. On last year's model.
A few extra miles look good on a player, and you are a player, G. You are tricked out with more factory extras than the Batmobile. Just sure that it's all good under the hood, alright?
I watched the whole time, pissed. I'm like, this is not Inspector Gadget. He is like, because part of his quirk was he's not really good at his job, but it kind of gets his job done, and that was kind of his thing. But the whole time, I'm like, I hate this dude. I'm just gonna let Max go. I just hated it. The movie was stupid.
In fact, everyone else could have been good at that movie, but the fact that French Stewart is in it would make to take an A movie down to an F just by his casting alone. The only time
that's harsh. Man. French Stewart could be a faithful watcher.
If he is, then I would not apologize, French Stewart. You suck.
Max, like, if you're French Stewart, unsubscribe.
I've always been annoyed with him. Even in Third Rock from the Sun,
No, I
every
liked him
time
in
he
Third
talked, I
Rock
got
because he was
annoyed.
supposed to be annoying.
I know, but I get that's his best because that's him doing. That's fine. It works in the show, but every single thing he does after that, he tries to be French Stewart from that show, and it's terrible.
And that's not Inspector
All right,
Gadget.
Max,
He's just annoying. He just overdid it.
Who's
Everything
worse,
was
Max,
overdone.
French Stewart or Chris Kattan?
French Stewart.
Dang, I don't know.
He had to think about it.
Dang, I'd probably go Kattan.
Chris Kattan didn't annoy me too much in House on Haunted Hill.
I was just curious, going.
All right.
Great question.
You all can go about Inspector Gadget.
The first one?
So why y'all hate the first one?
Because like everything about this, it didn't do anything from the show right. I didn't like the way Matthew Broderick played it.
Well, the fact, another thing, they showed Claw right away. Like, we're
Yeah.
not supposed to see who Claw is.
That's
that
the
was
only thing
another
the second one did better is they never showed the face of Claw. That was the only thing.
Yeah. I also didn't like that. How he was basically shown the whole movie.
It's a nickname. One that will send my enemies cowering in fear. Just Claw. One word. Like Madonna.
And I didn't really care for the fake Inspector Gadget plot.
Yeah.
Uncle! Hey, you What'd you do that for? We shouldn't be fighting. We've got a lot in common, except I've got nicer teeth. I'd hoped that we could have worked together. Been partners. Together, you and I could have ruled the world.
Should have quit while you were ahead.
Yeah, the whole plot was just bad. I didn't like it at all.
But still, the second one had to beat it with, again, French Stewart in it. So
it was
just by
just
default. I can't say Matthew Broderick's worse.
Didn't they introduce like a female Inspector Gadget in the second one?
I do vaguely. I think Penny did it, wasn't it?
No, they had a robot
yeah, okay.
female. It was somebody who's kind of known. But yeah, they did.
Elaine Hendricks was G2.
Yeah, and there you go with how stupid it started becoming. It just is like, hey, let's do this movie, but we don't have a clue about why it was good and what
it's
it
just
is
like,
about.
Let's take a sequel to this already bad movie and make it even worse.
Yeah, so the first one underperformed. It barely made more than its budget, or made like, was it 134 to 90 million?
Because again, I mean, the first one's not good either. So.
Oh, and I don't like the way. Speaking of, we talked about how Dr. Claw wasn't like the cartoon. Penny also didn't play like the cartoon, like at all.
You might bless yourself. You don't remember some of it.
Yeah, I seen both of them, but my memory of these two movies, I remember the first one more than the second one. My memory must be like, forcefully just rejected these two.
I know there's a lot of kids out there that are really pining to watch old Inspector Gadget live action movies, but I'll stop you there. Don't watch either of them. We'll save your time.
Ever.
It was also kind of lame how they came up with a Go-Go Gadget. Of like, it was because of her father. That's why he says it. It's like, that's something like, I'm like, you didn't have to go into all that.
Another thing was like the overuse of the joke. Like he would do Go-Go Gadget and then the wrong thing would come out. They kept doing that over and over again. It's like, we get it.
They couldn't figure out another way to show that he's a clumsy fool.
Yeah.
Oh, and I think I looked up this director, and I think this director also did Cool as Ice. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So he knows his comedy is what you're saying. Wow, he doesn't even have his own Wikipedia page. Is that true?
I don't even know if he's like still active.
Yes, it is David Kellogg.
Good for you, David. Really knocked it out the park there.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel bad for the guy. He can't even get his own Wikipedia
Well,
page.
I mean, honestly, why did they give him the job after seeing, so that's kind of on them.
Because he's a yes man. He did everything that they wanted him to.
See, the better story is someone saw it and was like, oh man, Cool Advice, that was such a good movie.
No, they're like, he actually got a movie out of Vanilla Ice. He must be good.
The talent of this man.